Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. JC here with another video on FGO. Today we're gonna do a couple runs on the Grail Front event, 90++, but before we start, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe if you enjoy the content. So, while this event is technically easy to farm because we have a charge and damage shop CE, there's gonna be a damage check, as usual, for 90++, so yeah, you might struggle. So I'm gonna show you a couple F2P ways, and basically what we're gonna do, because it's not easy to use supporters, like characters that are F2P to just clear this if you don't grail them. So the easiest thing to do is just rely on a borrow character to do all the heavy lifting. And we can do just that. So let me show you what I'm gonna do. First of all, we're gonna be using Chloe. Chloe needs a damage E. So as you can see, I have the borrowed damage E ML bid and my own damage E ML bid. So that means that we need a drop CE on top of that, which makes this a little bit difficult, but if you get lucky, you may use this strategy. So as I mentioned, we are using Chloe, and if you use the append, the max append, mana loading, and the MLBC, you have 70% starting charge, and if not, you have a 50% starting charge. But Chloe herself has her own charge, so she's gonna be able to use her NP. Then, on the second slot, put a strong damage dealer, AoE damage dealer, the strongest that you have, preferably with some kind of advantage over the enemy, like an archer, a berserker, or someone extremely busted like Kukulkan. Maybe that could work. In my case, I'm gonna use Ibuki. Unfortunately, that's a damage check. You have nothing that you can do about that. But on the last slot, you're gonna put the most busted AoE attacker that you can find in your support list that has the MLB CE. That's gonna be easy to do. I mean, there's gonna be a couple busted friends in your list. And lastly, we have the F2P waiver just in case. I mean, it's gonna be pretty useful. And of course, we're gonna put the plug suit. We're gonna need the plug suit, so yeah. So we put this into motion and let's see how good it is. Honestly, it's fairly simple. As I mentioned, we just use the MPs in succession and that should be it. The only thing that you really need is a busted attacker for the third wave, and any character that you have that is able to do the damage check. Because Chloe is going to be dealing enough damage. We use Ibuki's attack up right here, just to like not worry about the attack. I mean, it is already pretty good, the damage that Chloe can deal, even with a non-MLB copy of the damage she. So yeah, look at this. She didn't do overkill, but she managed. Now, for the next one, what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna change Chloe. Chloe is not going to offer value to the party. That's why I have a supporter like Waiver, the waiver that you can get at the start of the game, thanks to the 5-star ticket. And I'm just gonna use the attack up. I mean, I can use the crit up and keep the charge. Then I'm gonna use the arts up. And if you need it, rely on the decisive battle power up. That's gonna help you out tremendously. So let's see just how good this is. Is this able to deal with the wave? Probably yes, because my Ibuki is 120 and MP4, so she's strong. Whatever character that you have that is able to deal a substantial amount of AoE damage is good enough. And if you don't, you can even put it at the very end of the wave, if you know it's strong enough. But if not, rely on a character like Morgan. The buster characters are just busted, and Morgan is pretty good because she has an attack up that also comes with a defense down. So yeah, she's gonna deal a tremendous amount of damage. Yeah, I just do this and the enemy's gone. We have 3 attack ups, we have the defense down, And, well, no need for anything else. Just look at this. And it's done. Well, it is 120, it is MP5, of course, this is gonna work. Just look for that busted supporter from your friendlies, and that's gonna make things easier. But there's another strategy, and let's go right to that. The next strategy revolves around the new character Ptolemy. So for this one, you're gonna need a Ptolemy that has the MLB craft essence. You're also going to need your Ptolemy to be preferably NP2, and a couple grays would help, but they are not necessary. Like, the C and the MP level are what really matter here. So we're gonna support this character so that he is able to just sweep the whole thing. And of course, the skill level and the append are gonna be very useful. So keep that in mind. Otherwise, you might struggle with the charge. So it is as F2P as it gets. You're gonna need your Shufu. You're gonna need your waiver that you get at the start of the game again. But here's the difficult part. I have a Castoria here, but you don't exactly need a Castoria. You need like 40% charge, maybe a Rhaenys, because you're gonna be missing the charge at the very end. So we're gonna use Castoria in this case, but you could put any generic 40% battery. Keep that in mind. So let's go with that. So the good thing, another important thing, you have to make sure that your Ptolemy starts, of course, with the single target MP. That's going to be Ascension number 1 and Ascension number 2. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So you can see that Ptolemy is on Ascension 1, and we're going to use the attack up. And we're going to use the battery from Shufu, and then we're just going to MP, just like that. And that's gonna deal enough damage to just defeat the enemy, because not only he has class advantage, not only he has the damage CE, but he also has his own damage multiplier thanks to the event. So yeah, he's strong enough, thankfully. But this is 90++. Don't underestimate the thing. You're gonna need the extra MP level. Then we use the other two skills to increase the battery to a total of 80%, yeah. And we change the NP. Then we use wave burst buffs as well as Shufu's buffs. And then we are just going to attack, and this should be able to deal with the wave. In case you're missing damage, which shouldn't be the case, you can use the decisive power up buff. The one that gives you an attack up and an MP damage up. But as you see, it is pretty reliable for the most part. And then as you can see, we have 32% charge. That's why I mentioned that we need the extra 40% battery. Like anything is good. Like Castoria gives an attack up and an arts up. But I don't really need it. Like, we don't really need that one. We already have a good amount of attack ups. And remember, we have the damage multiplier, the original damage multiplier of this particular character. And we use the suit. I'm gonna omit this just cause. And there we go. The MP is gonna deal with this enemy no problem. But that's the thing. You need a 40% charge. That's the only caveat about this specific composition. But it is pretty F2P, and it is not unlikely that we get a friend or two who have this character. It is a pretty good character, even though it has been power crept. Well, anyways, to the next one. So, the next three compositions are gonna be your classic double meta supporter plus Oberon. Because, thankfully, you can do this on Buster, Quick, and Arts. Though, the amount of Grails and MP that you're gonna need is gonna vary. Buster has the lowest cap. I mean, it's Buster, of course. So, what am I using here? Level 90, NP2, Golden Fold, Arjuna. God Huna, you know? So, he's gonna be strong enough to deal with the enemy. You can do this with Morgan. You can do this with Kukulkan. You can do this with a ton of characters, honestly. Even some archers like Gil. But, well, obviously double Koyan Sky in this case with Oberon and Blocksuit. Like, it is just the classic composition. But the thing is that we are going to replicate this on arts and also quick. Though in my particular case, my quick composition isn't exactly the best. I do have a quick AoE attacker, but it's not the strongest. In fact, I rely a little bit on RNG, but that might not be the case for other players, and you can just rely on this strategy, and I'm gonna show you, even though I rely on RNG. So, well, first we use Godhuna's attack. We buff him as much as possible. Well, not as much as possible. I didn't put the extra charge from the other damage multiplier, but we don't need it. We use the cooldown reduction. We use the attack up again. And that's gonna give us even more damage that we don't really need, but I mean, it is good. The Buster's characters are just pretty easy to to break. So yeah, good enough. And lastly, we just put Oberon at the very front. And we use all the buffs from Oberon as well as Arjuna's NP battery. And that's it. Yeah, pretty simple. This, and this. I forgot to add the decisive battle damage up, but it's okay. You see, it's okay. It doesn't matter, but you can use it. You can use it if you need it. I mean, overall is carrying all the charge, so obviously it's gonna be like this. And now let's go to the arts version of this. For the arts version, I'm gonna be using, of course, my Summer Ibuki, but you can use other characters like, I don't know, Durga, maybe, what's her name? Summer Meluko, whichever good AoE attacker with damage skills and also a battery you have is gonna be more than enough, because we have Oberon to do all the heavy lifting. So yeah, so let's see. This is very simple. We start by using all the buffs from one Castoria. Well, not all the buffs technically. We're gonna save the second skill because we have 70 because of the pen. So the attack up, the arts up, the arts up of another Castoria, the attack up from Ibuki, the arts up from Ibuki, and that should be it. We can even use a Brave Chain even though the enemy is not going to survive, but yeah, it's there. And yeah, that's one. For the second wave, we have 20. What am I going to do? I'm going to be using my own charge. That's 50, that's 70. And the 220 charge. And that's 110. Yeah, good enough. And again, Ibuki does her thing. Her MP is just gonna be devastating. As I have mentioned, this Ibuki is 120 MP4 with the Appen skill, the mana loading, so of course it's gonna be very strong, but whichever good AoE damage dealer you have is gonna be more than enough. As long as you pass the damage check on wave 2, you're gonna pass the damage check on wave 3 because of Oberon. So we start by applying the attack up, well, changing Oberon. Then we use the attack up of the other Castoria. We use the MP up. And we use the Buster buff on Ibuki because that's going to increase the damage of the MP. of the MP strength buffs. We also use the suit's attack up. And here, if you need the extra damage, you can use Castoria's buff. I'm not gonna use Castoria's buff, but you can use it. That's up to you if you need it. Just rely on it. We have enough charge with all the MP charge that we have used. So yeah, abuse the thing, abuse the system. It's for you to use. And yeah, as you can see, that's enough damage. Lastly, I'm gonna be using my Dantes. So let's go to the quick version. Now then, for this last one, I'm gonna be using Dantes. My account isn't exactly robust on quick attackers, nor on their MP levels. So my Dantes is only level 90 NP3. If your account has a better AoE attacker with a good MP level, you can use this strategy. In my specific case, I need to fish for the right cards. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to clear the last wave, just so that you know. So, obviously double Scadi with Oberon and the damage on Dantes with a pen skill, of course, and 10-10-10 skills. So, yeah, the mana loading is gonna help, and let's do the run. And of course, we use Blocksuit. You know it, I know it. So, it is nothing new. We just need to dump most of the Scadi buffs on Dantes. Right now, this is looking dire because I have some of Dante's cards right now, but we use the attack ups, the quick ups on Dantes, and Dante's buffs. We want that NP gain up with a battery because it's extremely useful. Very, very useful. On the other hand, the charge down, you can keep it for the very end because it's a star dump. I mean, not that I need to guarantee my stars, but just in case. As you can see, like, we don't need to guarantee anything thanks to the star region. So, yeah, at least I'm gonna have one face card at the very end. And that's gonna help out. So, we use the batteries. And in this particular case, for me, I would need the attack up, but I can use my face cards, just so that you know. Just adjust your strategy to your roster, to whatever you have. If you have the damage output, just go with the face cards. If not, use the attack up from the suit. In this case, you're gonna see, even though I'm gonna charge my Bard completely, like this is the baseline, 37%. So that means that I would need my Oberon, a 70% charger after that. I'm just using, I just save this one because I could in this specific run, and it's gonna help me out. I can clear these two enemies, but this one is gonna be alive because my MP level isn't high enough. So what I would do, I would put all the batteries into Dantes, followed by the Buster Up. And then if you can save this skill, the attack up, that's better. And the stars just cause. So with that, I'm gonna start with a Buster, then the MP, and lastly another Buster. So even though it doesn't deal a huge amount of damage, we just want to hit with Dantes. And as I mentioned, not the best pick, not the best example, but you can see that it deals a decent amount of damage, and I was able to, my god, I got another C. Before this run I got another one. Like I did a second recording. God, I'm dropping Z like crazy. But well, you get it. You have to use a strong enough damage dealer. It's a damage check as usual, and you can rely on double meta supporter plus Oberon, or you can rely on your supporters to just carry you with a good damage dealer. You can do other strategies with arch supporters, but Buster supporters and Quick supporters are not viable enough. Quick because they don't have enough MP charge, and Buster because they really need the second Koyanskaya, and you cannot have one if you're borrowing the main attacker, so yeah, that's the thing. So anyways, that's about it, guys. I hope you find this useful, and I'll be seeing you next time. Bye!